motherfuckers know better than to talk that shit to me. It's all right. You're not allowed to wear a Rage Against the Machine shirt. Bitch, I came out of the womb listening to Rage. Fuck yourself.
Yuck.
You two motherfuckers listen to La Cucaracha on repeat for 48
Shut
hours.
the fuck up.
You want to give me shit.
You were conceived
Rage
during
Against the
fucking...
Machine.
That's what's wrong with you.
This makes me
Which
think of my
part?
neighbors.
You're conceived during some of that shit. You can tell.
Oh, yeah. Look at my fucking dad. You know, you guys know.
Yeah.
Didn't they chill out?
I heard they shilled out,
I thought
actually.
they chilled out.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean,
you pay me the right amount of money, I'm going to shill on you guys. I'm sorry.
What Tom Morello, he's talking about socialism, and he was backing Bernie, and he was all for, you know, they're pretty socialist kind of communist band, you know.
Yeah.
Put your mic down a little bit.
Who?
There you go. No, yeah, right there.
But he's bitching about wage disparity and pay inequality and all this other shit. The motherfucker's worth like $20 million.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It's like Elon talking about shit you don't know. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, we were dragging Elon last week.
fucking billionaires, dog.
Or
You
I-
Hey,
guys-
hold on. Yeah, you were.
I was. These
Yeah.
two fucking guys.
Yeah, I will still suck his dick. I don't care. It's whatever. I'm more of a balls guy, actually, to be honest with you.
Dude's a little
I'm not a knob
insane.
guy, more of a balls
Dude's
guy.
also changing the world, so I get it. Do what you do, dude.
But changing the world to what ends?
Who knows? It's something different than what we've been got going on, so, like...
What we been got going on is fucking ain't working, G.
Dude, it was the same shit we talked about last week. Is that he's manipulating the market? Obviously, that's how come Dogecoin and everything keeps spiking and
Pure manipulation at some point.
Yeah.
Whenever he went on SNL, Tesla stocks dropped like however many millions of dollars.
Wild.
A lot.
You think that was a ritual?
I don't watch SNL, so I
think
couldn't
that was
tell
a
bro.
ritual.
You don't watch SNL?
I don't watch SNL.
Nobody watches
like it.
SNL.
I like
Dude,
SNL.
you don't.
That's
watched
because you
it
got
one time.
fucking.
Dude, you're like
You
the
still got the
second
rabbit
person
ears,
ever to
bro.
say that. Like,
Gabe still got rabbit ears with the aluminum foil on them.
now are you talking about full episodes of SNL?
No, clips on
Oh,
YouTube.
clips on
Oh,
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not catching the fucking the concert at the end.
Nobody watches SNL. It's not a
They
thing.
just keep it going for no reason. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
there.
not a fucking thing anymore.
Yeah, because what is it, like a nation's pastime? I mean, how long have they been out for?
A long time.
Like 40 years?
It's the longest running like comedic television show, right?
I think Mad TV.
No.
Mad
SNL's been
TV's
around since the fucking 70s, man.
Oh yeah, you're right. I was thinking
Mad TV was 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doug Go. I don't know. I don't fucking know. You tell me. What were you saying about who?
What
And what were they doing? You were talking about Elon Musk and
Oh, no,
swapping on his balls. What were you saying?
But he announces that Tesla's no longer taking and doing transactions with Bitcoin or Dogecoin or cryptocurrency. So then it drops. And the reason he gave is because of the mining, all the energy waste.
Yeah.
So it's bad on the environment. Yet the motherfucker's making electric cars with precious metals, rare earth minerals,
Yeah.
and mining up fucking rainforests and putting chemicals in the soil to get lithium.
Now-
And yet for some reason cryptocurrency's bad. So then Bitcoin and Doge and all these cryptocurrencies took a dive real quick
Yeah.
because he just said that.
But then real statistics come out and it's not like that.
Yeah.
It's not like that. They say like 70% of it's renewable. Is all done with renewable energy and
Yeah,
stuff.
because it's a
through
bunch
solar
of fucking
panels
hippies.
and stuff
It's a bunch of hippies and millennials
that live in like
yeah,
the
that,
barest of countries that just have good Wi-Fi.
that have good
Yeah.
Wi-Fi and solar energy. Because they're all nerds. They're already driving Teslas anyways.
Yeah.
So of course they got Tesla power stations and
want
fucking
one.
solar energy.
Yeah, I do like the
I know.
Teslas.
I want a
Man,
truck.
fuck you guys. Give me a fucking
Let me get that
69
T-truck,
Camaro
baby.
with a big block. And give me all the dead dinosaurs to fuel it.
Have you ever seen them? Have you ever seen that Tesla that they kind of stripped down and added extra batteries and they race it?
I don't think so.
That's pretty dope.
I've seen a whole Tesla power system swapped into like a BMW M3. There's a drift car, I think. It's pretty fucking dope.
You guys see that new F-150, the all electric
The
one?
Lightning,
Yo,
dude, it could power your house. supposedly. Like seriously, that's how they were in the reveal. That's what they're like. The truck in a power outage because the charging station for it is installed usually real close to your main
Yeah.
power box.
Yeah.
Well, no, power goes both ways, motherfucker. So you can
Didn't
use your
Hummer used to do
F-150 to power your house in emergency situations, power outages, all that shit.
Like the old
That is
Humvees
awesome.
or whatever. Didn't they used to do that? The Humvees or whatever. Humvee or Hummer, the old ones. I think
I
they
don't
used
I
to
don't fucking know, bro.
have generators built in.
I'm not a car
Like
guy.
that, you know what I mean? Hey,
That's fine.
engineering's engineering, you know? It's
Yeah.
fucking brilliant. But talking about the F-150, fucking like 1 million pounds or something like that.
Oh, I was just gonna catch you guys.
Yeah, right. He's fucking. That's what I thought. That's why he was like. Either way. No, you're good. Yeah, go ahead with it.
So Elon Musk is clearly a fucking lizard.
Well, yeah, clearly.
I mean, it'd be your typical
But see,
like
okay,
villain.
Now, okay,
like,
now this is
Maybe
what I'm
not
talking
lizard,
about.
but he is something.
This is what I was just talking about to what ends. So if we're sitting here saying, "Oh yeah, he's for sure a lizard," well, what are the lizard's goal for humanity? So then he could just be playing the good guy up until they get to where they want to be with the plan. Just like 9/11, it's just like everything else. All the other manipulation that they do.
It is.
Yeah.
It's only a means to an end.
It's a
So even
psyop.
if they have to put on the good guy face for a few decades, that's what they're gonna fucking do because they're not doing short term bullshit.
time is irrelevant here.
Exactly, Caleb. Thank you. I'm so glad to have. Are we
Either
fucking
way,
live?
either
Yeah.
way, I
We're
would.
fucking live, people. Let's go and get this introduction out of the way before we forget. Welcome to P3, y'all.
What up?
Hey.
What's good with it?
We got a new guy in the makeshift studio here. One of our good friends, Caleb Graham.
Hello.
The fuck? His name's Clob.
Clobberella.
Clob.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
I know. I've just accepted the name
weird.
now. I am Clob.
It's
yeah.
Clob.
Clob.
We got
Clob,
Gabriel
Clob.
here. We got David
What up?
here.
Cool. What are we talking about today, Justin?
Dude, we were just fucking dragging Elon Musk for the second week in a row. That's how we started this bitch out.
Well, not necessarily dragging,
I'm not
but
exactly sure when.
like dragging his ball sack across my face.
Oh,
But
he said, oh my god,
hey, you talking about dragons?
Jakaris.
But it is a psyop, regardless. Unfortunately, it's a psyop regardless.
But we are under agreement that he's a lizard, though, right?
For sure.
Well, some type
yeah.
of interdimensional.
I don't
demon.
think he's
some type of
human. There,
dick.
we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an alien.
Yeah.
I bet he's
Beam
just,
me
I
up,
bet
Scotty.
he's-
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know what to tell you.
Pretty
But
cool alien.
I bet his bottom half looks like a Barbie.
what does that mean?
Hey, can we at least give him credit that he?
Do I want to see that?
smooth.
Yeah.
No holes. No.
Can we at least give
opinions.
him credit that at least took one puff off of Joe Rogan's insane
Tobacco.
weed?
He
Yeah.
also made
Oh, you think it was
makeshift
tobacco?
No,
flamethrowers.
no, it was definitely weed.
You know,
Yeah.
that's a conspiracy in itself. I bet that was
What?
fucking tobacco.
Oh,
Oh,
dude,
dude, for
don't,
sure.
don't start that.
For sure.
No.
Put
Shut
that
up.
out there.
Actually, I was
Hell
just.
no.
Don't put
I
some
was
feelers
just.
out.
There's already a
reminiscing-
mess of
Put
bullshit
it
out there. We don't need to add more.
Oh,
I was-
God, yeah.
What
I
do
was
you mean
watching,
misinformation?
Oh, there's no such thing.
No, never.
Yeah.
No, I was just watching an old NASCAR, Dale Earnhardt,
Dale.
whenever he wrecked and shit.
Dominator.
And, it just made me think Intimidator.
Intimidator.
It just made me think about how
That all the politicians have sponsor names on their vests, just like NASCAR drivers do
well, I
on their
mean,
cars.
that would make sense.
Yeah.
But
They do. I never realized that.
the Winston
Kind of
Cup.
idiocracy.
That is America.
Do you
Yeah.
guys remember when they made a big deal about the Winston Cup
No.
because it was cigarettes that were supporting this giant sports event that all these people were exposed to, and they said it was bad because smoking in the early 2000s and shit, they were really cracking down on anti-smoking stuff.
Yeah.
So then they changed the name. I think they changed it to Sprint or some shit like that.
Right,
but
just
then,
rebranded it?
but the guy who was dominating at the time was Earnhardt Jr. and he was still sponsored by Budweiser. So he's like the poster boy for for NASCAR at the time. It's weird. It's not logically consistent. It confuses my little monkey brain.
Nothing is.
you
Yeah.
confused my little monkey
Yeah,
brain with
you-
that one.
you
All
right
right,
with
so
no, but what?
anyways, go ahead, D. Go ahead, baby.
What we're talking about the Intimidator, man. Dale Earnhardt.
Raise hell, praise Dale.
What'd you say right before that?
No, we were talking
I know,
about
that's right,
the
brother.
tobacco conspiracy. Well, I don't think it's really a conspiracy. I think it was just a monopoly by big tobacco. Kind of not like. I think eventually they kind of got in bed with the pharmaceuticals and that whole thing.
Makes
Because
sense.
it's a
Makes
cycle
sense.
of our health, So
Yeah.
we just keep going through the doors.
Yeah.
Both doors, in and out. Buy cigarettes, and then the cigarettes make us sick, so we go
Yeah.
buy medicine.
It all works
The
together.
medicine makes us sick, so we go buy alcohol. And the alcohol makes us sick, so we go buy some more medicine.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Like,
And then
alcohol
next thing you
stayed
know, you're
open
shooting-
like during
You're
COVID
fucking
and all that.
hot railing
It's
shit
amazing.
into your dickhead.
Hey, what was that? BDB?
Oh shit, dude.
BDB,
someone
dog.
just
Hey, wherever
say,
you at, BDB,
Hey,
dog.
Yo,
Hey,
Big Dick Brian. We still talk about
we
you,
still
bro.
talk
You're a
about you,
legend.
dog. I hope your construction company
You're a
worked out,
fucking
man.
legend.
That
Yeah.
bitch thick. You know
Dude,
what I
this
mean?
guy was telling us about how he was shooting like liquid Viagra into his dick, but he like shot too much and it felt like his dick was gonna explode.
Before he had his swinger parties.
Dude, yeah, he was a like hardcore swinger.
Yeah,
And
he was in
telling
a,
us
he was
about
like in a club and everything. of
So you guys know where to
swingers.
get this? Or?
No,
Dude, I don't want to
off
shoot
air,
this
my
shit.
fault, my fault.
no,
No.
That
I
sounds
would-
awful.
no. So some of the people he was showing me, I was like, oh,
Oh, dude, these fucking
yeah, hey, good job. Hey, man, I'm not gonna hate though. I'm not gonna be
raw,
a hater.
raw.
So you do know where to get. Never
Bro,
mind.
He was,
No.
he was smashing these bitches raw.
Yeah,
Dog.
yeah.
Yeah, I bet it smelled like hot dog water.
Oh yeah. You know.
Fucking corn dogs.
Corn dogs.
Another one of our buddies went to a swingers club downtown, and he said it smelled like fucking corn dogs in there.
Oh,
Imagine going in to just fuck a bunch of random strangers and getting itch, and it just smells like corn dogs.
I don't even know what that is. What does that smell?
A
What does a corn dog smell?
You've never pulled a corn dog out of a freezer?
Or like a microwave.
It just smells
the
like.
microwave ones,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
like
or a
stale.
microwave
I don't know how to
Weird,
explain
yeah,
it.
they got a weird
Yeah.
tinge.
No, I haven't. Fuck, I guess not. My
No,
fault.
okay, well you can't.
Next
You
time I
got
come over, I'll
lucky.
bring some
Yeah.
corn dogs.
Yeah, bring some corn
Just so we can
dogs.
smell
Thanks.
them. Yeah.
Yo,
All right.
didn't someone just come out and say like what Apollo was that crashed? That the people they actually might have survived is what, or they probably survived.
The Challenger.
Challenger. That's
Okay, yeah,
that's
I've heard
the
about
one.
that. I've heard
I
about
think they just came out and said like those people might have survived.
that. Okay, see if you could find that, because if that has
What is
actually
it?
happened,
I haven't seen this.
the Challenger space shuttle explosion. Remember, it supposedly killed all those astronauts. And what David is saying is that somebody may or may not have just come out and said that they are still alive
And that's been a conspiracy for you know,
since it happened, pretty much.
because
Huh.
these people. There's pictures. Watch,
That was in the late '90s, early 2000s.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah,
Yeah.
you said they survived.
I'm thinking.
This
That-
sounds like
that's-
an
I'm
Alex
thinking of something
Jones
else.
rabbit hole.
This
Yo,
sounds
Alex
like some
Jones
Alex
was
Jones.
right.
Listen to me,
How many times was he right though, bro?
dude.
Let's talk about it, fool.
You can't deny it.
Yeah, I mean,
How
he was
many
right a
times-
lot, but
Yo,
there were some things he went a little bit too far.
There's a wonderful Twitter
far
account.
on.
Well, there's
called-
just some things you should have kept to himself until the information came out.
True.
Yeah.
Yes,
No
okay.
bullshit. He letting you know, and you're mad that you know now. So fuck off.
I think
I don't know what to tell you.
I think he's. I think
There's
he's
a
in the club,
wonderful,
bro.
Twitter account called Alex Jones was right. That is, follow that guy.
Rabbit
I don't
hole.
know who he is. I don't care.
Yeah, but what would
Follow
be
that dude.
their reason to think that they're alive? I mean, I'm sure the families will,
Actually, you can just pull up the picture of all of them, my guy, and it'll
Uh,
show you a picture where they're all still like they go to different. They work at different businesses. They work at different schools.
where is this at?
Type in conspiracy right after that, or live, or
Wow,
whatever.
of
Our
course.
research
Hey,
is not
type in-
biased at
yeah.
all.
If you're gonna find it, you gotta find it, dude. Hey,
Dude, hey, you know what? We're sitting here fighting giant media, and we're doing the same.
it's
bullshit.
Google. I don't know what to tell you.
Why are you on Google and not DuckDuckGo, bro?
See, thank you.
I don't know.
Okay,
DuckDuckGo kind
Now,
of
who's
pisses me
that
off
from?
sometimes.
so let me explain this picture to everybody.
This is from
listening right
Snopes.com, just so everybody knows. Hey, just so you know,
Legit.
now. So wait, that picture is from Snopes,
Yep.
and let me guess, they're saying it's fake. I can't see it. I'm blind.
Dude, you need to wear some glasses,
I
man.
have glasses. I just don't like wearing them.
Hey.
Welcome to being fucking
Yeah.
blind, you dumb bitch.
Yeah. It's hard.
Fuck me.
Even with my glasses, I'm blind. Like,
Put some contacts in, you stupid. fuck?
Scroll down.
Hold on, I'm trying to watch it.
Oh,
Sorry.
he's got to fix the thingy.
A little bit closer.
How about now?
Yes, now I can
Alright.
hear you now. All right, what do you want me to look at?
Scroll down. Let's just see what these fucks have to say. These are the people saying it's fake.
So the-
That the conspiracy is not real.
They're quietly living their
They're
U.S.
still alive.
lives.
Snopes. I can't even remember that fuck's name. I've already talked shit on him. I called him
rating
out.
false.
Okay, but why is it false? Let's see. Usually they hide their lie within their answer. Because they'll go, no, this is fake. 20 people didn't die. And it wasn't in 1974. 19 people died and it was 1972. That's how they discredit a lot of this shit if you actually pay attention.
Well,
The
never read 'em.
conspiracy-
It's just slight discrepancies in information or slight variances in
Oh,
information.
so
is
what
they
everybody-
say
over
fake
and
off
over
of.
and over.
So they just tell you the truth.
Half truth.
Yeah, half truths.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
the conspiracy rumor questioning whether the Challenger crew was in fact still alive, as evidenced by the fact that persons resembling those original crew members at the approximate ages they would be now and bearing similar or identical names are still living and working in the United States. That's what it says. And there's the picture.
Gabe,
Yeah.
You tell
devil's
me.
advocate. You tell me
You
why
fucking
we should
tell me.
believe.
I haven't seen this yet,
Okay,
so
there
I don't know.
Well,
man. It
now
sounds-
what's your opinion? Look at it.
Yeah.
Don't
I mean,
play.
It
I
sounds,
can't believe it.
It sounds
I-
kind of crazy.
It might be like doppelgangers that look like them. I mean, everybody
totally.
has
Everybody
a certain
has one,
yeah,
yeah.
everybody has a certain amount of people in the world that look almost identical to them.
Yo, I
with
seen
it being
mine on,
what 40 years later.
It's the same thing with the Sandy Hook
Yeah.
controversy that Alex Jones had. It's like I didn't necessarily believe that those people didn't die. Now, do I believe maybe there could have been a chance that that guy was like some sort of like Manchurian type, psyop or whatever?
Yeah.
The shooter? Then yeah, maybe.
Zoolander.
Yeah. So I don't know. I give that more credit than they
Right,
didn't
and
die
Alex
at all.
Jones never
So
said
Blue
that.
Steel is more believable than this.
No, but he said that they didn't die, right?
He said that they did die. It's just that the conspiracy
I
is
thought
saying
they-
that these
no,
people who look similar, are a similar age, and have similar names are still alive and working today.
I
Yeah.
swore that's why there was a big
Which is
thing with him and
realistic.
Joe Rogan with the whole Sandy Hook thing. Is that I thought he
you're
said
talking
that?
about Sandy Hook.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, he
Well-
said they didn't die, right?
No,
Yes.
he
That's
didn't
what
say
Alex
it. Somebody
Jones-
said that on his show is what happened. And he didn't discredit or he
Yeah.
said
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
he said
Okay.
exactly what you said.
Okay.
So
Is I-
basically, what Alex
he never
Jones
said
said,
the kids didn't die,
Yeah,
but it might have been a psyop.
yeah.
The
I think
actual
more. I think
shooting
my opinion is
might
more
have
of.
been-
I think they died. I think there was just a
Mhm.
maybe possibly a psyop involved. I don't
There's
see.
an
A
agenda
lot of
to
these
it.
mass shootings are kind of a little.
None of them
Fishy.
add up correctly, and it just
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
plus two don't
something
equal five.
not okay or right about it.
Kind of
I
like
mean-
this last FedEx one. I heard the FBI had visited him last year. How many times does the FBI visit these people prior
Right.
to the shooting?
all the time.
Yeah.
all the time. And you think it's like, would there be a mail trace? Would they send you a letter? Would they send you a,
For what?
The Dark Brotherhood.
for FBI? Hey, you're doing some questionable shit. We're worried about you. They visited him how many times? You just said,
I don't know how many.
okay.
I know they just visited him a year prior to.
but it happens all the time.
yeah.
Come on,
Now how they
How-
get? I don't know.
those are all coincidences.
Bag over the head, thrown into the back of a van. I don't know. We've
well-
seen it before with protesters. Right?
Yeah.
You that famous video. Where was that at?
Just
East
record
Coast?
everything. Don't
Yeah.
fuck
They
around.
picked a guy up,
Everything.
threw him in the van,
Record
and took off with
everything.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it happens.
it's,
Dude, it
it's
does
fucking
happen.
weird.
It's
But
messed
see,
up.
for like to get back to the whole Alex Jones Sandy Hook thing, what Alex Jones originally was stating is that the kids who went in and did all the shooting at Sandy Hook weren't the actual shooters. He never said people didn't die, but it was more of like a coordinated tactical
Assault.
psyop.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the same thing when it comes to like 9/11 too, is
Yeah.
because all the discrepancies in evidence and times and all the coincidences revolving around 9/11 we're gonna get into
Don't
that
get me started on
eventually.
9/11.
No,
Wasn't the
Yeah,
Pentagon built
can we
on
even
9/11?
debate 9/11 anymore? I mean, there's so much
No.
shit out right
Like-
now that, I mean,
The evidence,
opinion,
the amount
no.
of evidence pointing towards the government or whoever setting the whole thing up is
Yeah.
too large to,
ignore.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
No,
when you have like physicists with PhDs or whatnot, stupid smart people coming. I'm like, no, it's impossible.
engineers
Yeah.
that
Like-
design skyscrapers are saying,
Yeah.
this is bullshit.
Yeah, like there's no way.
Yeah.
literally one of the most beautiful controlled demolitions you'll ever
Oh,
see.
yes.
It was textbook.
It felt
Most
perfectly
definitely. It
was
on top
textbook.
of itself.
Yeah. We'll definitely get into
They
that.
cut
though,
all the
at
supports.
some
Oh,
point.
and
perfectly.
Building 7 and Building 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But y'all motherfuckers never heard of Building 5.
And
we're
wasn't-
gonna get
Plus,
to it.
then it started coming out with the manipulation of the video that aired that day, where the trajectory of the planes wasn't actually correct, and the video, the way the plane was going, it should have been behind these
No
buildings when it
shit.
hit the plane,
Yeah, like
but it
the
was in
CGI
front of it.
where
Yeah,
the wing of the plane, so the plane is flying in, it's
Yeah.
closer, but it goes behind the wing of the plane goes behind a building that is clearly off further
No
in the
shit.
distance. Not to mention the BBC reported on it like 20
Yeah,
or 30
yeah,
minutes
yeah.
earlier, some shit like that.
yeah.
So, guys, my head's been hurting for the last week diving into this quantum physics again.
Okay,
So,
now did you
Jumping
do
into the
quantum
quantum
physics or
physics.
quantum computing?
I did quantum physics and quantum mechanics, which they say is the same thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I just kind of went in on that with Sean Carroll and Brian Greene.
Brian Greene
Brian Greene.
is really interesting to listen to.
Yeah,
But it's just like with everything else, you're gonna.
but you're
have-
talking about you said quantum computing, like the whole CERN deal and all that.
man, that just kind of shit just gets my dick hard
Yeah.
because it's
So hard.
okay. Now Gabe was saying, but while we were setting everything up today, about how like you're listening to these scientists and like legit. We're not talking about conspiracies. We're talking about legit motherfuckers. We're just trying to learn about quantum physics, quantum computing, and what these dudes are saying sounds like, man, you're fucking lying. That's bullshit. Because it sounds so
Unfathomable.
it's so beyond the average person's comprehension. It sounds fake.
Sometimes I feel like I feel for quantum physics and the scientists that explain it, or the physicists that explain it, how people feel regular people feel when I talk to them about conspiracies. Like that's
Or
that's
machining.
exactly how I feel.
Or
Yeah.
machining even. Something
Yeah.
that's
Or
not
yeah,
even
yeah.
as
Yeah.
elaborate as
Blank stares.
Yeah,
Teaching
Right, or
somebody
talking about
something that they know
non-car
nothing
people.
about.
yeah.
talking about cars to non-car people.
But they
Yeah, I
like-
don't ever know what you're saying when you talk about cars. I just nod my head and go,
Yeah.
"Yeah, dude, that sounds really cool."
Motor make thingy move.
Yeah,
It goes vroom,
vroom,
vroom.
vroom. Yeah.
Wheels go.
Go
yes,
fast.
yes.
Yeah.
But I believe it was Brian Greene or Sean Carroll that was on JRE. It said that it's not that quantum physics is something that no one can learn. You can learn it. You just have to, do
It takes a lot of
yeah.
a lot of
Because the whole misconception is that you'll never get it.
Right.
And I think I can't remember which one was Brian Greene or Sean Carroll that said you can. You just, have
just
to listen and learn. And I think they're trying to make it more understanding in
Yeah.
the way they explain it too.
The further they get into it, the more they can correlate it into basic understandings for
make the
everybody else.
information practical.
But as humans, we have the literal capability to learn anything and everything to its furthest capacity.
Yes.
Right.
And the only thing
Limitations, my
that
guy.
dictates that is society telling you otherwise.
Your own limitations.
Well,
Masters of it.
We talked about this last week. At the end of the day, we're still a fucking monkey trapped in a meat suit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's no way any of this should actually work, and it does.
Right. Well, and it's crazy because the shit we've been so conditioned about,
Everything.
everything. And even when we're looking at the truth, and all these super smart guys and gals are saying all these new scientific breakthroughs, they're like presenting all this shit, and people just tune out. I mean, it's like we're living in idiocracy. People just don't give a shit.
Ignorance is bliss.
I mean, I don't think
It
you have
is.
to necessarily care about everything, but
a mindful
Like,
eye
I
on it.
don't believe everybody needs to care about quantum physics. You know, I don't believe that. So, but if you find I believe you should at least find something you care for.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you gotta find purpose in something. That we have the capability to understand and learn anything, and finding a direction or a purpose in life of something like that is how you're going to achieve learning those things. It's like you can't go into trying to understand something like quantum physics or quantum mechanics. You can't instantaneously learn it. You have to find something in it that you like, and in that you'll be able to learn it.
Now, do you think that if you just brought up a good point, is that people can't relate to this shit?
No, it's so far outside of their base belief structure that they can't even begin to understand it.
And another thing is that
Do you think that's blinders?
Kind of. I think they don't
talking about,
want
like,
to
conditioning?
understand it.
Literally not wanting to understand it.
The more people learn about reality, the harsher their view of it tends to become.
nihilism and shit.
Yeah, like a lot of people, they don't want to face reality because real reality is depressing if you look at it
Dark.
that way.
Very dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you
So
want
I
a
don't
cynical
think-
path about it, it is very dark.
I don't think people want to make the intent to strive to overcome that. They would rather just ignore it.
Ignorant bliss.
Yeah.
So they say quantum physics, put simply, is it's the physics that explains how everything works. The best description we have of the nature of the particles that make up matter and the forces with which they interact. Quantum physics underlies how atoms work, and so why chemistry and biology work as they do. Kind of want to go off of that.
So basically, like energy, right? Are we talking? Is that what we're talking about with it?
Pretty much.
I think it's just different definitions.
Yeah.
So like it's easy,
So
it's
how
easier
do you,
just to say
how would you
energy.
describe quantum physics in your own?
It's just now it's also called quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
Now, to extrapolate on the mechanics, I mean, if we think of something's mechanical, we think of it being like gears,
Mm-hmm.
like a watch.
Mm-hmm. And that's
Like-
the definition that we tend to give it.
Right. So, if everything... Sorry, just in my chair here.
I have to break that chair. You
Hey, bro. I fucking... Hey. God bless, right? All right, anyways. I don't even know what I was talking... What was I talking about?
I don't remember.
Mechanics, quantum
Yeah.
mechanics. So if I were to explain quantum physics... Sorry, David's groping me. If I was explaining quantum physics, it's the smallest observable... What's the word I'm looking for? The smallest observable
Thing in our
Thing.
universe.
Doohickey.
In our universe.
thing
Molecules, atoms,
that we could observe.
subatomic
Exactly.
particles.
Yeah.
Subatomic particles.
Yeah.
And this is... And like in materials, what makes up the table and all this bullshit on the table is the same thing that makes up us and all living creatures on the smallest scale that we could see and measure and manipulate consciously.
State of matter.
State of matter. And when you start looking at it on that kind of scale, when you're looking at atoms, it's all atoms.
Everything.
That's just energy.
Yeah.
Now, we were magic last week. This is why we're talking about quantum physics and shit. It's really supposed to be quantum computing, but it's all kind of the same thing because the state in which quantum computing operates in is the same state in which the universe operates in. It's all probability at the same time. It's all happening at the same time. So,
But isn't that also like getting in line with your frequency then?
yes.
Because
Mm-hmm.
if my state of matter right here and then through the table, well, me and the table are the same thing. We're atoms, right? So how do I tap into that frequency? I think that's the
With quantum mechanics and quantum physics, that's basically the direction they're going. I mean, it's used to observe how the universe functions, moves, does everything that it does. The connection between all things, how reality and matter change depending on if you're observing it or not observing it. So the different frequencies or layers of frequencies within our reality is what they're trying to understand. And tapping into that is a lot of spiritual magic stuff.
Now, we're talking about frequencies. This is within frequencies.
Yeah.
So just like what
Quote, sub-frequencies. Yeah.
and frequencies is just
Well, upon
what
frequencies, right?
what we call it.
And there's different frequencies then, right?
Yeah, there's an
Yes.
entire spectrum that we don't even know all of yet.
Because I wonder sometimes, like, the TV remote, for example, that frequency,
Mm-hmm.
well, does that go through you? Does that vibrate through you?
Yeah, everything all at once.
Okay.
We're constantly
So
being
then I want to
bombarded.
know more about, like, 5G, for example.
Oh,
I know nothing about this, but it does seem to me that frequencies make people's bodies, atoms, go waka waka.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like the way they use frequencies in riot zones and in war zones and shit to disperse crowds
Yeah.
Yeah,
and all that other
calming.
shit. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
The different types of waves, microwaves, radio waves, all this other shit. So it's all subjective. So when you say frequencies, everything is operating on a frequency. That's just the rate in which it's vibrating or oscillating.
Yeah.
So that's just a way that we can measure what's going on. It's not like it goes back to like the Constitution. We don't get our rights from the Constitution. The Constitution,
Right.
it's just in writing.
Right.
It
Yeah.
just puts it in writing. It's the same thing. We just give it a name. So when you hear frequency, it's not just that's it. You know what we're talking about when we say frequency is what the point of it is.
Yeah.
People are lazy with their vocabularies today, which we all we talk about this all the fucking time, is that's where they fuck us, is on our definitions, and what we think words mean don't really mean what we think words mean.
Definitions define reality.
Exactly. Because that's what that's
Every
your
time.
filter you see reality through.
And when the words are skewed like that, when they are so manipulated like that,
Mhm.
I mean, come on. For example, goodbye is like, God be with you. That's what that originally stems from.
At the end of the
That
day,
is-
language doesn't make sense.
At the end of the day, we're just making noises.
Yeah, we're
just
making
monkeys
noises and
flapping our
understanding
fucking
it.
mouths.
Yeah.
Right,
And
but
we
I
just-
think the manipulation of those words, though,
Mhm.
from okay, if English is the hardest language to learn, then but people learn it all over the world.
Mhm.
They learn it
It's the most spoken language.
Mhm.
because
So with
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No.
Finish what you were saying.
well, because it makes me think of like the King James Bible and how that was transcribed into English.
Mm-hmm.
Or the like several thousand
And
different
from-
versions of it they scattered across Europe.
Exactly, in like 16 whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, what I'm saying is, or what my mind starts to think about is the manipulation all the way that stems back from then, that these words, they mean more than what we even can fathom what the words actually mean and stuff.
Right.
No,
And
we're
the
just monkeys
manipulation
repeating
of
sounds.
Yeah.
Those words being combined and things being combined, such as like soldier and stuff like that. Like
Mhm.
the actual meaning of
shit
soldier.
that comes from Latin and
Mhm.
Greek. All
It's like
that other
soul
shit.
to die for. Or
Yeah.
something.
It's the same reason why. I mean, English is a culmination of worldly languages. But have you noticed how similar like Italian and Spanish is?
Mhm.
Super, super similar.
So we see all these things, and a lot of these words even sound like the origin of where we get it from, and a lot of times it's from like Latin, like Italian, Rome. That's basically where I'm getting at. Is a lot of our language comes from Rome and Greece,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that also goes into the overall objective of the show too, is to try to get everybody on the same page as to the dire situation we're facing,
Of being fucking manipulated.
of being manipulated.
Constant.
And where your focus is, that's where your energy goes. So that's why when like Austin was talking about the 9/11 memorials, how they're kind of harnessing and manipulating that energy is because that's where when you're crying or you're upset or you're reminiscing about the tragedy at those places, they can take that from you. I mean, this is just layman's terms, but they could take that from you and then use it however they see fit because it's theirs. What you got there, Gabe? Got a little sidetracked.
No, it's all good. No, I was listening to actually when quantum physics was first discovered, which I believe was, and I might be wrong, but the 1920s, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and that's what kind of attributed to a lot of our computers, electronics, you know, the advancement of it. And I don't know if you guys, and nuclear power plants, I've heard too. So without this, life would be a lot different right now if we didn't discover that. Kind of goes into your quantum mechanics, what you were just
Yeah, but if we're going to talk about that, I'm more on the alien train. I'm an alien guy. So I think
Do
a
you
lot of
believe
our technology
maybe
really-
we were assisted in finding quantum
Oh
mechanics?
yes,
Maybe from
most definitely.
Well, see,
extraterrestrials? Or?
if I had to say right now, just off the top of my head, I would say that quantum mechanics we had just scratched the surface. So we really didn't know what we were getting into, where we were going with it. It was just a weird phenomenon like the double slit test that was like, hey, there's some other shit going on with this. But we didn't have the technology or the understanding up until Einstein.
Yeah. And what was that test? The double slit test?
So what they did is they have like a piece of paper. You probably pull it up and we get a more accurate description of it.
Yeah.
But they fire these lasers at a targeted spot on the other side of the cardboard with these two slits cut in it. So when the light particles are fired through the slits are repeated all across it. Instead of just having two slits showing up, it's the whole wall behind it is covered in these slits.
Perfect.
It's just like the same image copied and pasted, but with light and lasers and shit.
Going through one slit.
So this also ties into everything else we've kind of talked about, is that it is like a glitch in the matrix, the double slit test, because the particles, I'm pretty sure at the time they thought everything was in waves. But do you have it up there?
No, they do believe it's in waves, but there's also a theory that it's both. The particle in the wave.
Well, at the time they thought it was just particles.
Because, I mean, this is
So
what they explain.
everything operated like
Yeah.
a beam. So when it was copied over and over again, essentially they found a glitch in the matrix, because what was happening is the light particles were riding on the ether, because that's really all you could describe what this field that these particles are traveling on. This goes back to what Gabe was saying, how it's a little bit of both, is because it is particles and it is waves, but not really. That's just how we can describe it. Just like
Yeah, because even the wave part's not necessarily a wave. That's just
Right.
how we
Yeah.
describe
right,
it.
it's just something that we
Which
can observe.
they honestly, if you look at these, does this look familiar? Kind of intertwines with psychedelics.
yeah,
yeah,
totally.
absolutely.
Sacred geometry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Flower Alive.
So essentially, the ether is just this field of pure probability that just copied itself, right? So all these particles. Are you gonna pull it up?
What? What do you need me to pull up?
The double slit test. Let's get these guys a more accurate description instead of my fucking
Yeah, it just
incoherent
says a
rambling.
demonstration that light and matter can display characteristics of both classically defined waves and particles. Moreover, it displays the fundamental probabilistic nature of quantum mechanical phenomena.
Because our observation ruins the experiment. So it changes depending on who's looking at
Yeah,
it.
they say every time they try to measure that, it changes. It's called the measurement problem, I believe. That's
Yeah.
what they call it.
So the measurement issue is
They
just
say
what they
that
call us
our measurements
observing it.
collapses the wave function. We do not have any physics to describe how the wave collapses. It's called
What do you mean?
The measurement problem.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I heard on, I think it was Brian Greene talking about it. So he said our measurement collapses the wave function. Like when they try to measure it, it collapses. So they don't have any physics to describe how it collapses. But every time you measure, it changes.
Yeah,
And
so they
that's why
can't get a
call it the
repetitive.
measurement problem. I don't know. I'm a
So
beginner at this.
so if you were to look at it twice
It would
be
change.
Change every
Yeah.
time.
for every one of us, though.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, matter stands still when you are observing it, but as soon as you are no longer observing it, it changes. So when they're trying to measure it, every time they go to remeasure it, it's already changing. They can't get a definitive measurement on it
Correct.
because they can measure it at one point, but then the
It's
next time they measure it
goofy
the
as
exact
fuck.
same way, it will be completely
See,
different.
and now we're reading this
I can't even fathom
verbatim
that.
here.
My small little
And
monkey brain is.
It
I'm not
sounds
an
fake.
expert.
Yeah, it's a hard topic.
It sounds fake. It sounds like we're full of shit.
But
But this is, I mean,
But quantum mechanics or quantum physics, either or, but they intertwine with life, right? Because, like they say, like when we're describing the waves, they're actually not waves; they're abstract mathematical waves. And I think something you've always told me, Justin,
Probability.
is that life is sort of math. If you think
Everything
about numbers,
Yeah, it's just patterns, signs, all of it's math.
Yeah.
But yeah, the quantum mechanics and quantum physics also helps us prove parallel realities, multiple dimensions, different things like that, different planes of existence, just because of what they are studying.
I mean, it even explains possible teleportation
Yeah.
could exist too, right?
Yeah, wormholes,
Yeah.
stargates.
Well, could that just be tapping into that frequency then? Is that what that is?
Essentially,
that what we're
it's
talking
a connection point between dimensional frequencies. So you're stepping from our dimension into a different frequency of dimension.
about? So when you
parallel
die,
reality
type
or-
of thing,
well,
like your soul, the transfer of matter.
energy.
Is that what is that?
No, because if you look at consciousness as our soul, it never dies. It doesn't change. It's there. I mean, it changes over time, of course, but it is infinite.
It's just
it
energy
exists
transfer.
no matter what,
But
no
isn't
matter
there like
where
a
you're
weight
at.
loss or something? Like once you die, your body loses so much weight.
You know,
like-
but
Yeah.
but
so
we
is that
haven't
your
been going about
consciousness going back
science.
in?
We haven't been going about science in the correct way in order to figure that kind of shit out.
I mean, there's theories that there's different universes where if you were
Yeah.
to take a gun and kill yourself, it
Yeah.
would be a split.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What do you mean?
That's
Like
just
you'd
that's
still be
just
alive,
timelines.
but you'd also be dead.
It's
Okay,
just like
so-
goes into Mandela effect.
Yeah,
and shit.
when something like that occurs, when you take that action, you're shifting your consciousness
I think
in
it's
two
called quantum
different,
suicide.
two different ways. So if you kill yourself, you are splitting reality to one reality where you survived and one reality where you did not.
But there's infinite realities.
But both those realities continue on regardless of the outcome. And then with every major decision or something like that, we create more splits and more splits and more splits. So we have different universes, parallel realities, realms, all of that.
But now
That sounds like.
this goes into the first conversation
Yeah, I
we
know.
had.
My brain hurts.
Are we
David,
talking about the slit experiment still? What are we talking about?
Essentially, yes, because when it
That
moves
is
through the
bananas.
cardboard and splits, it is showing the splits of reality.
That is
So the
wild.
particles are splitting into copies of themselves. You ever watch
this
A
goes
Wrinkle
into
in
quantum
Time?
entanglement.
Yeah,
I've never
which
seen
is
it. No.
Oh, it's great. You should watch it. It
Yeah,
has to do a
I
lot
gotta-
with quantum entanglement.
Twinkle in Time. Yeah,
so
I don't
quantum
know.
entanglement is a physical phenomenon that occurs when a group of particles generate, interact, or share spatial proximity?
Spatial.
Spatial?
Yeah.
In a way such that the quantum state of each particle of the group.
So you do something to one
There's so many different
proton.
versions of
Or-
quantum. It's crazy. Quantum
Yeah.
tunneling, quantum entanglement, you know, quantum physics, quantum mechanics.
So you do something to one particle,
Yeah.
and the same thing that it does to this one particle, they observe it happening the exact same way in another particle somewhere else.
okay.
Yeah.
So now those particles, the same particles that are in universe 207E.
There's another one with the Flash. No.
Yes, that's the one where the Flash is getting butt fucked by Batman. Is the same particles that are in every other. Basically, what I'm saying is that it's the same particles.
It's all connected.
So instead of us being able to experience quantum entanglement just within our universe and our reality, those experiments are bleeding into other realities. And this is where the LHC, this is where the Mandela effect, all this other shit comes in, is because when you're talking about quantum mechanics, it's no longer a conspiracy theory because quantum mechanics is essentially saying the same things that conspiracy theorists are. In a way.
he loves the conspiracy theories.
You gotta bring it back to it.
Oh, but
Purple
you know,
pill phenomenon. Everybody.
it's not really even a conspiracy theory. It's more just like it is a conspiracy,
I mean,
but it's
this
not
is
really
a
theory
theory,
anymore.
or no?
We
Is that-
can theorize. We will theorize, but most of the shit we talk about is already out there.
Yeah.
Is it proven? Is that like proven?
Yeah. Well, Einstein was theorizing quantum entanglement in the fucking 60s and 70s, bro.
So
But there was a problem with Einstein as well that kind of they didn't because God, what was it? I'm gonna butcher this so bad. But the theory
Adulterous.
of relativity wasn't that
Yeah, the theory of relativity was.
wasn't it Einstein?
Well, that's like gravity and shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it was
but
Einstein.
there's different. I don't even know how to explain
It wasn't
It's just a
actually
different kind of
proven
wave.
until what several
also
years
gravity
ago.
is-
No,
just
but they
a
say
byproduct
that
of
that's what
something
kind of not limits, but his thought on theory of relativity and quantum physics somehow there's different versions. Like I was reading something earlier that there was 4 versions of quantum mechanics: many worlds, hidden variables, spontaneous collapse, and epistemic approach to quantum mechanics.
Well,
So
then you're just talking about what different sciences, their
and
perception of
but
it.
that's the problem in it is that
Oh, yeah,
there's
it's
so many different
divided.
Yeah, there's-
theories on
Well, they're all divided because they all think they're right.
yeah,
There's just too many
When
variables. with
really,
it.
which can be
when
good
really,
and bad
when you
though.
take the purple pill,
yeah
you see that, well, they're all kind of right
yeah
because like Brian Greene,
yeah
what he was talking about is that eventually all particles are gonna basically collapse on themselves,
yeah
and that's how the universe is going to be destroyed eventually, because the universe is so fucking big. Not one star or one black hole is going to be able to kill it.
yeah
No.
Plus,
yeah.
we're speeding up as we're moving out, so everything is separating out faster now than it was yesterday. Even
I mean, isn't that how life was created from a supernova?
that's what they say.
Yeah. So
I just want to know where consciousness comes from.
Well, I mean, who knows?
It's one of those invisible things that can't be explained or quantified or measured.
Now, the multiple timelines. I want to get back to that because David was making fun of me the first time we had this conversation. I don't even know how many years ago this was. When I was trying to explain multiple timelines to David, and he basically said, "Well, you're telling me there's a timeline out there where I'm fucking you in the ass?" And I go, "Well, yeah, and there's also a timeline where I fucking like it."
And that's this one, motherfucker. The fuck you mean?
But now it's throughout infinity. Because like Caleb was saying earlier, there's no such thing as time. Time's relative to the observer.
Yeah, we create it.
Yes.
So then, is that probability then? Like, so is it I make this decision in this timeline, and it affects that timeline because in that timeline,
Like a butterfly effect.
I have no idea. I've never seen that. I've heard good things.
You're both simultaneously affecting multiple realities while also creating new multiple realities infinitely. It doesn't ever stop.
Now, so does that start so that timeline starts now, and that timeline starts now? Are we continuing at the same rate, the same time, or because you said it's accelerating? So does each timeline accelerate at a different time because of the acceleration that was already happening?
Sure,
Is
yeah.
If
All-
that's what
all
they if that's what they
possibilities.
choose in that timeline, if their construct of time continues to carry on, they would move at the exact same rate that we would. But say if there's a new variation in that reality where they understand time in a different way, then their time is going to work in a different way.
Even what they're doing at the time is going to change how fast time moves. Just like time flies when you have fun. Okay,
Yeah.
so time moved faster for us in this reality.
the cliche bullshit lines that actually have so much
Yeah.
more meaning behind them.
It's just like nursery rhymes, bro. They
Yeah.
got such darker truths to them.
Yeah.
Yo, okay.
I had to play
so-
Ring Around the Rosie the other day. And
Oh,
I-
my
Sick.
mind.
It's fucking sick. Goddamn English bastards. Fucking bad teeth. You fish and chips, you fucks. You ruin everything. The crown ruins everything.
Ruin
She's
every
like,
lizard.
oh, I like fish and chips. Bro.
Don't kill us.
I'm with him. I love fish and chips.
Yeah.
Dude.
You know,
No thanks.
I was just aiming low on that one. I really like fish
Yeah.
and chips.
I was just talking shit to talk shit.
I was just
Yeah.
talking shit. 1776. Anyways,
All right. What about quantum tunneling?
I don't know shit about quantum tunneling. Now, is this where what you fold like wormholes, where time is kind of you make a path
You
through
fold time
planes
on
of
itself,
Yeah.
and it creates a tunnel.
Wait, what?
Now, what I
Wait,
want to
what'd
talk
you
about
just say to
earlier
me?
is they theorize. People say, I don't know who theorized it. I probably heard it from a YouTube conspiracy video. But
If you're not extrapolating on what Caleb just said, I don't want to know. What'd you
what
say?
did Caleb say?
What'd you say?
So you can fold time on itself and make a tunnel or portal through it.
But see, now that's implying that time is linear.
Yeah, and it's not.
So that's what you take the two pieces of
Yeah.
paper like this and you fold it in on itself, right? And then you can make a wormhole to get to two places in time. But that would imply that time is linear, a flat plane, when really it's
When it's
not. It's not, because time is subjective, and this is where you kind of got to keep logical consistency, because this is what people double talk all the time, and it bugs me. We're probably going to do it. I've probably already done it on the show.
Well, before you get too far into it, it'd be using gravitational waves.
Yes.
You're not actually folding time. We've proven gravitational waves. That's what proved Einstein's theory of relativity. But if you fold those gravitational waves onto each other, you can create basically a tunnel through it. And gravitational waves happen whenever two suns or a sun explodes or two black holes collide into each other, or any massive event in space that would send a gravitational weight behind the explosion.
Tearing the fabric of reality.
no, like, what do you mean? Like, what does that imply though? So does that imply like
That's just one way they theorize that they could time travel.
Yeah. Or
And
how we
travel
can
through
access
space.
and use wormholes.
Warp speed.
But
Yeah,
how?
like if you look at like the
What-
Bermuda Triangle, that's technically because of the gravitational frequency or pull of the Bermuda Triangle, it's basically folding on itself. And that's how when some people
Like, it's
go
all
through the Bermuda
portal
Triangle
waves.
and then, come out the other side on the coast of California and have no understanding how they did it. I mean, there's so many places on our planet that have strong gravitational pulls that are
where things go up,
Ley
you know,
lines and shit.
go up.
yeah,
The
like
water
the Zone of
goes up.
Silence, Stonehenge, the Bermuda Triangle,
And they're all
the
crazy
Dragon
haunted, too.
Triangle. Yeah,
Really?
Like the Ram Inn, it's on the same ley line that goes through Stonehenge, and it's fucking crazy haunted. It was on Ghost Adventures. It was a pretty interesting episode. I
Ghost
love Ghost
Adventures.
Adventures. That's my guilty
Yeah.
pleasure. Those fucking clowns.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, where they break at every commercial right when something's
Yeah,
about to
yeah,
happen,
yeah.
and then you come back and nothing happened.
Yeah,
We're gonna instigate.
Oh God, dude, did you hear that? Oh,
You're
love
gonna
me some
talk
Zach
shit.
Bagans.
I
Those
would
are the
love to go
motherfuckers
ghost
that will
hunting.
start shit with you in a bar and then call the cops after you run out.
Oh man.
Anyways,
So on,
I would love to be on the show. By the
So
way,
I'm still yeah. No, I don't. No, thank you. No, thank you. So you're saying that, but how can we harness? So if we know an event is happening, so we know an event in space is happening, can we use that? So, like with astrology, astrology, knowing where the things are in the moon and the times and all of that stuff, those events, can we use that energy? Like, can we
Harness it?
How do we harness that
Yes, but not in the same way.
that we know of?
Well, not that
That
I'd
we're
say
allowed to know of.
Well, that, but and also in the same way that I don't think would apply to this. So instead of us harnessing our energy to like, are you talking about like consciously shift us?
Or are you talking about like using the gravitational energy from a celestial event type thing to
To move a star?
to bend reality?
To time travel, bend reality?
Essentially, probably. I mean, given the circumstances of it all, you probably could if we got to that point. But
I mean, but is that how you time travel? Is
that's
that
part of it. But there's also
is
there's
that what
too
they're
many
doing with
theories
the
on
LHC?
time travel.
But see, I
But
think
is that what they're doing with the LHC then? Because if they're making those explosions happen in a contained field, so
Yeah, that's how they proved multi-dimensions. They were smashing things at such a high volume that it was just generating its own gravity, basically, into a new form of reality. It's a
people
new
were
dimension.
theorizing that's what they were doing was that.
Yeah, I mean, they
They
made
were
the black hole
killing
above
reality.
Norway in 2009.
And where was this at? The LAC? Where is
CERN,
that? CERN? Okay.
LHC.
LAC. What's that stand for?
Switzerland.
Large
Large
Hadron
Hadron
Collider.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So now,
Which again, to prove how we do that or get to that point would be quantum mechanics, quantum physics, quantum entanglement. The more we understand about that, or the more we understand about
It just
gravity
we
or
build
invisible
upon
things that affect us, that's how we will eventually use it.
that just it's hard to fathom because it's like, what if you? So what's the God in all this?
the Higgs boson.
The what?
The God,
Higgs boson particle. Go ahead and pull it up.
I don't even know how to
It's what they
spell
call a
that.
God particle.
yeah,
And now, what? It's not Susan Sarandon, is it? Who's the bitch's name from Miss Doubtfire, Smokey and the Bandit? What's her name?
I don't know.
It's not Susan Sarandon, I know. But her brother,
Bandit though. This shit was fire.
her brother was one of the scientists that discovered the Higgs boson. Just a little fun fact.
So the Higgs boson is an elementary particle in the standard model of particle physics produced by the quantum excitation of the Higgs field. One of the fields is a particle physics theory.
Sally Field, that's her name. Her brother was one of the particle physicists that discovered the Higgs boson.
Okay, layman's terms that down for me a little bit.
Dude, I don't even know.
All right,
We probably have one listener right now listening.
We don't even have one. We haven't released this shit yet. So, anyways, that's
No, for real. Like, can you dumb that down just a little bit for me? You have an next
Well,
one.
Justin brought it up, so
well, I can't even see what's going on here.
No,
The God
tell us.
particle. What?
Yeah, that's my brain's too small for that shit. So,
So quantum physics.
So now this is what is really interesting because that was just we were just kind of bullshitting on the foundations on which we're going to build upon on this episode, which is quantum computing. That's just kind of like the theme. It's not really the topic because you know how we like to get sidetracked, but that's just kind of theme.
Yeah.
Now,
I'd honestly like to go back to CERN. That was kind of interesting.
dude,
what you were
CERN is
talking
super
about.
interesting, but I don't know if my brain's big enough to comprehend a lot of that.
So
shit.
what does that underground like? What does that do?
The Large Hadron
Yeah,
Collider.
yeah.
They are taking atoms and
Mhm.
shooting them around this thing at extremely high velocities and smashing them into each other,
Okay.
I think
just to see what happens
I
when
think
they do that.
Said it's like firing two needles across the Atlantic Ocean and them colliding.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's no dangers in that.
Oh,
Well,
there's
we
a lot.
okay with this?
Yeah.
That's kind of where
There's
I
a
wanted
reason
to
the facility's like 10 miles below ground or some stupid thing.
It's all pretty.
But
fucking
we're okay
incredible.
with this, and people are just letting this happen.
Yeah.
get. Yeah.
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 So can we do this? Can we make a?
Because
Large
don't they say
Hadron
that it
Collider
could
in my
possibly
backyard?
create a huge
If you had
black
enough
hole?
funding.
They have
Yeah,
particle accelerators that you could fucking fit on a dining room table.
yeah, but they already made a black hole using
But
it.
obviously, it's the power and everything is going to be just scaled down.
Yeah.
Now, if you can imagine firing atoms at each other on a tabletop, and now it's just amplify that by miles and miles and miles.
Where is that place at?
I
I know there's a couple of them, but the
It's
big
on the
ones.
border
Yeah,
of,
somewhere
like,
over there,
France and
Norway. I don't
Switzerland
know.
somewhere.
That small area.
They were saying that that was one of the largest efforts by many different nations to create that. I mean, I think it was like millions or billions
Yeah.
of dollars to
And that, see,
fund that.
That's the other thing that kind of makes the mock human sacrifice even more peculiar.
Yeah, but they also said that that wasn't true. So we can.
Yeah.
kinda-
Wait. Who said
I
that?
know.
Who's
I
that?
understand. I understand.
They themselves said that.
They said the video.
They-
They said the video was a hoax. Now, why you would hoax something like that, I have no idea. Why you would even have a statue of, what is it?
He's a male, Shiva.
Yeah, Shiva.
Last year or last
year.
week, I said she was the goddess of chaos and all this. It's a guy apparently. Looks like a bitch. Sorry, my bad.
What were
There's a
they doing anyways in that video? I've seen it one time, a long time
It
ago.
was just like they're all wearing robes.
Cloaks and shit.
Robes that are too small, and this girl's laying down, and they pretend like they stabbed her. That's what
Yeah.
they said. But now, how are you going to disprove them?
But not even that.
Because
why
it's-
why would you even do that as a hoax?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're talking about physicists and scientists from all over the world, and they're fucking doing this shit. I bet they're sticking Molly up each other's butts too. I would be. Hey,
I am.
Be rolling
What
your
are you
balls
talking
off and like, hey, let's go fake a human sacrifice.
Yeah. Like,
Claw blew me
All
up.
nerdy and shit
Fuck.
with their fucking lightning bolt
Yeah.
scar on their forehead.
I just got bleached.
Anal bleaches for everybody.
So how does that work though? You were just explaining that, Caleb. They take what do they take? And these
atoms.
atoms and they collide them together at
Yeah.
crazy speeds, I guess.
Mhm.
What are they trying to get out of that?
A
They're
lot.
just trying. They're
Everything?
observing what happens. That's
yeah.
all they're doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's understanding how reality works, what happens when atoms collide, or trying to understand how the universe was
hmm
created by smashing these things in together. Because like the Big Bang, they think was just an implosion that exploded back
It
out.
could have been.
Okay.
But it could have simply been two things moving at such a high velocity and smashing into each other that it just created reality.
It could have been the product of a parallel reality firing up their LHC.
Again, to us, reality is our size, but to the universe, our reality could be simply the size of an atom. And
Okay.
everything that we know is inside of that atom.
Men in
You got-
Black.
Yeah, Men in
Yeah.
Black, bro.
Yep.
Or like Ant-Man.
Marbles.
Yeah.
Or-
So, I mean,
well,
in
that's-
some weird way, we could probably be smashing realities into each other.
Yeah,
That's terrifying.
it
Yeah.
is. It's
You know,
fucking creepy. But now, I don't know if you guys already
Hollywood's
started-
involved.
Hollywood.
Of
It's always
course.
Hollywood.
Well, I mean, the people at the top of Hollywood and science and
But isn't that a
politics are all
perfect
the
way
same
to
thing.
show everybody something? Because in the end, everyone goes, "That's just a movie."
Exactly.
They've been
That's
doing it
fucking
for
wild.
years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Avatar The Last Airbender, the cartoon show,
Yeah.
has so much spiritual and metaphysical crap in it that it's unbelievable. But it's just a cartoon show. You'd never think anything more of it. It's just a cartoon show.
Now we're going to talk about synchronicity again this week,
oh,
just
God.
because of what happened.
Oh, man.
Energy.
Energy.
Moving it.
What about it?
Tapping in.
That's what we're doing.
Oh, in the moment?
Because no, last week I made a comment about being an earthbender when we were talking about magic.
I like rocks.
And I go, oh, it was an Avatar reference. David understood what I was talking about. And then this
Avatar.
week you fucking bring that shit up.
I-
You haven't even listened to the show.
I bring up Avatar The Last Airbender every chance I get.
Yeah, well, maybe it's just a coincidence, but depends on if you believe in coincidences.
Maybe it's fake.
Now, you guys ready to start talking about quantum computing? Because
Well, bring us in, Justin.
What are you
Tell us
talking
about
about,
it.
bud?
So,
I'm
Pull up
already
quantum
there.
computing so I can read about
bro,
it.
this shit is
What?
okay.
Beep, 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 boop.
Hold your space. The double slit test is essentially the waves have lost where they're going, so they double down on their bad choices and therefore fucks up reality. That's how these laser particles react.
Quantum
Anyways,
computing is the exploitation of collective properties of quantum states, such as superposition, and entanglement to perform computation. The devices that perform quantum computations are known as quantum computers.
So now a superposition,
Which is what you think is running the world, right?
yeah, well, yes, but something more, obviously far more powerful. We're talking the same thing, just at different degrees.
Would that
Like
like
a
be making
nanochip?
like artificial intelligence or something?
This would be the foundations of like true, actual artificial intelligence. Like the
Okay,
shit we
that-
have now that's running.
That
on our
robot
drone-
lady scares me. All right.
Sophie.
Yeah, that one. Oh
Hey,
man,
I heard
Who's
she
that?
made Bitcoin.
Oh, dude,
She's an
see,
AI robot,
Oh,
like
really?
that basically has like base consciousness. Like, yeah, like it's an AI robot, and it scares me.
The Google AI.
Not because it's robots coming to life, just she's just scary looking to me.
But isn't it
Yeah, yeah,
scary
that's it.
because they're
That's
making calculations based on the probabilities? Like that's the scary
Yeah.
part about it, right? So at some point it could realize
it becomes self-aware.
there's a
Yeah.
problem and we may be that problem.
Well, yeah, we're always the common.
We are
denominator.
humans are a disease. Sorry about it. Like, But yeah, even like if you look at the military droids that they're making now, that like, yeah,
that shit's
well,
so goofy, bro.
just Google that stuff. It's insane. Like they just kick around these droids and like give them guns and like let them shoot stuff and like.
Oh yeah, those recent
Yeah, and like when it
robots
comes
that
to like a friendly person, like they won't shoot, but they'll like move the gun right next to their head and start shooting all the targets and stuff, and it's just a robot.
Bro, New York City Police Department has a robot dog now.
Them things are insane too.
Listen to how stupid this is. Listen how fucking
Fucking
utterly
stupid.
retarded this shit is. It infuriates me.
You're yelling at it again.
Fucking
You
yelling at it.
fucking
I'm fucking oh.
don't tell me I'm yelling at.
So they spend I don't know $500,000 or some ridiculous number on this fucking robot dog. Guess what? There's a guy with a remote walking right fucking behind it, like an RC. Oh, it's like he's playing with the Traxxas with this fucking $500,000 robot dog. What fucking good is it to spend that much? You couldn't have waited a few more years to have fucking.
You're also talking about the mayor of that city
Dumb,
that's
fucking
wife
dumb.
lost $850 million in her mental illness program. So I don't think they care about money there.
Dumb.
We'll
These
just
are the
raise
people
taxes.
that you
Yeah,
vote
every
for.
time.
I don't
This
think
is
they
why
care
voting
about
is
a lot
so
of things there.
stupid. Because these are the people that are on the other end of that vote. And you
Quantum
guys keep falling
computers.
for it.
Get back
So a
on topic.
superposition is where, like binary code, what computers operate off of.
Yeah.
The zeros and ones. So 0 represents an off, and a 1 represents an on. Well, standard Intel Core, IBM based computers that we have now, right? They can only compute one of those at a time. So it's either on or it's off. Now, a superposition, which a quantum computer operates in, is it's on and off at the same time. So it could do equations that takes one of our today's computers. The number varies, depends on who you listen to, but it can take it at least 2 weeks to do. Quantum computers could do these same equations in like a matter of seconds or minutes. So now it's just this computer chip it's all covered in gold, right? It's just gold everywhere. That's your phone.
Oh shit, my bad.
But they put it in a giant refrigerator that cools it to negative 270 degrees.
That's
Fahrenheit.
cold.
That's almost absolute zero. The coldness of space.
That's
Because there
To slow the
in all the
particles down?
electron, yes. So there's no resistance. And guess what? We're gonna fucking bring it back to Saturn because it's a giant black cube. I'm talking about the D-Wave quantum computer. This was the first one. Now, have you heard of D-Wave?
No.
And you've done more research on this week than any of us have.
Yeah, but my retaining information isn't very well. It's
My point
not as good
being,
as you guys.
I gotta
my
write stuff
point
down.
being,
Just because I listen to hours of it doesn't mean I know what the fuck it's talking about.
my point being is that D-Wave was the first one, and doing all the research now, it's all Amazon and Google are the ones pioneering it, but D-Wave was the
Yikes.
original. So now what I'm getting to is the CEO and founder of D-Wave, a guy named Jordy Rose, gives these speeches that are so fucking creepy. I've told you about this before. Have I not? Have I talked to you about
No.
this motherfucker?
I don't think so.
Dude, we talk like once a week.
Bro. So this guy, eventually we'll have to cut some of this shit up and put it on some of our social media so you can see it firsthand if the videos are even still out there. But it's like him giving seminars and kind of lectures about the D-Wave and talking about quantum computing. This is a cutting edge of quantum computers type shit. This is some time back. Because obviously the big tech companies are now pioneering quantum computing, which is even scarier. But I digress. Now, he's talking about purple pill. But he's talking about now, for one, it's a giant black cube, which we've discussed before, kind of touched on. Is another symbol for Saturn, like in Mecca, giant cube. It's just prevalent all over the place. Anyways, but he's talking about when you're standing next to it, it puts out these frequencies that sounds like a heartbeat. So you're standing there. He says you're standing there. It's like standing at the altar to an alien god. These computers at the time were $15 million a piece,
Which is nothing.
which is nothing to, the powerful. But $15 million supercomputer that is so cutting edge that you've never even heard of it. And the guy who made it, sounds like you're standing at the altar to an alien god, because they made it a black cube for a reason. They knew the potential and where this technology was going to go, and therefore they were paying homage to their god.
Combined symbolism.
Exactly.
What is that? What is standing at the altar of a alien?
That's just
god?
how he describes standing next to it.
Okay, so what is that? Like, what do you mean?
Now, when he said that, he knew exactly what they were doing as far as when they were making it and making it a black cube. They knew the potential where the technology was going to go. It's just like them putting a fucking Moloch statue, the running bullet, on Wall Street. It's the same thing. That's them planting their flag in a way. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, it's just messed up.
It's fucking weird. It's fucking
just
weird.
really messed
but
up.
But this is the reality when you're facing with a bunch of interdimensional lizard pedophiles.
And it's all, what's really messed up, honestly, is it's all related in some fashion. It's just all related to everything.
Yeah.
With quantum
It's
computing,
quantum entanglement, bro. This is
all
what
of
we
this.
were
This
talking
is-
about.
The all is the one.
So that chip that you were talking about, have they used that yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
See,
And it has to be stored in those temperatures
yes.
at all times.
Yes, because the cube. So we're only talking a board, a motherboard of maybe, what is that?
7 inches, 8 inches.
4 feet.
Wow.
Sorry, my whole life.
I just made a little dick joke, but whatever.
A whole generation. Whole generation.
So it's it's just a motherboard. It's like a regular looking motherboard, but it's all covered in gold to limit or to increase conductivity.
Yeah.
So, and at such low temperatures, there's zero resistance in the circuits. So it's a perfect computer system as far as what we know about computing right now.
And what are they going to use that for?
It could be used for anything. You're figuring out. Imagine playing Minesweeper on this fucking thing. But they use it for its computing capabilities.
It's
As in
something
what?
that you would
So
use for
when-
making like more automatic factories or jobs being automated and things
Or
like
some
that.
type of
using
eagle eye shit.
Let me.
Yeah.
Yes.
using a quantum computer to power and run all of that.
You
Okay.
give a computer system all the capabilities of accessing all this other shit. and
Skynet.
It's right.
Oh, shit.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Okay.
we're looking at possibilities.
Yeah.
The
So
further
now-
we get into AI, which quantum computing will be used for most likely, might
What,
get sketchy.
Skynet?
Terminator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a real thing, right? Skynet's a real thing, though, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Sometimes
I
my
think-
mouse buttons don't work right.
I don't know. Google Skynet, and I bet it comes up.
Well, probably it's part of a movie.
No. I think there's a conspiracy out there about that, actually. Now,
There probably is.
I think so, yeah.
It's probably a conspiracy about avocados.
But there's a real problem with avocados.
There really is. Yeah.
There really is. There's gang wars and stuff happening about avocados.
What are you trying to remember, Justin?
Dude, I
We just got so far off topic, or is that?
no, I
That or
just
he's fucking 12 deep.
I was
into
about to
these bong
fucking-
rips.
Uh-huh.
can't remember. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll remember hopefully sometime next week maybe.
Just start talking about quantum computing, Justin. You were doing a good job going off on that.
Yeah, but I fucking completely lost my train of thought. All right, I'm gonna have to take a little break here. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So avocados, there really is a problem with gang wars and avocados in Mexico, though. That's a real problem.
Yeah, I did actually see that.
Yeah.
So is that like legit? Like,
Yeah, that's a
are people
real-
killing each other over avocados?
Yeah, because avocados
I think
are
anything
like
that
gold.
involves
It's the
business,
gold, green
there's-
gold now.
Yeah, there's
Damn.
some sort of
Yeah.
conflict.
I don't even like avocados. I like guacamole though.
I
Yeah,
don't like
I know.
avocado.
Okay.
I think you got to kind of
first
have
of
the
all,
other tab.
I don't like
Yeah.
tuna, but I like tuna salad.
Well, first of all, eating an avocado by itself is disgusting. But eating an avocado with a whole bunch of stuff mixed in is good.
Fair enough.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Yeah. That sounds about right.
You can call me a white person. It's okay.
Super white.
Me and my privilege, I'm upset over avocados.
It's messed up because it's true.
I knew it.
So what do you guys remember where I was going with that?
Oh, we were talking about the black box, the symbolism, and what they are going to be capable of doing it with.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I was going. I had a point.
How
The
is
point
quantum
is-
computing gonna end the world, Justin?
How does quantum computing in the world?
Yeah,
Well, they
'Cause
don't
I know
want
this
it
is
in
probably
the
where
world.
it's going.
Now, this is something that I wanted to clear up from last week
Well,
too.
in the world for the common folk.
See, this is something that I wanted to clear up last week because I didn't really answer Austin's question about the chips being in our brains, and he was talking about how it keeps us tethered to physical reality. Well, yes,
You
but
don't need a chip for that.
I don't think so
Right.
either. What's in
You
your
don't need a
pocket,
chip.
You know,
you don't need a chip, but it doesn't keep your soul here. It just keeps you in the karmic cycle.
Yeah.
So
Which-
it does, but it doesn't at the same time.
I mean, essentially, you also choose to stay in the karmic cycle.
Right.
So it's kind of a.
And if they keep you off
Two-sided
your
coin.
path, then you're going to keep coming back
And that's
anyways.
the end game is they have created a system that constantly creates more trauma within your consciousness or soul or whatever you would
Ready
like
Player
to
One,
call
bro.
it. Yeah. So you constantly have a need to recycle back into this existence to have another go at it to try and learn more, experience more.
And guess what's on the wall when he's having the meeting with the old dude? The system's God.
Mm-hmm.
What's on the wall behind him in his bedroom the whole time?
I didn't
A
watch that
giant
close.
Saturn mural. Try to bring that up. It's fucking creepy as shit. Also, I took a screenshot of it. Bring Me the Horizon. Another reason why
What
I don't
was
like
it?
these fuck.
Such a terrible band.
I
I
hate-
like Kingslayer off the new EP though.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Ready Player One attic scene. But they have in one of their music videos, I don't know, it's just a Facebook ad. So I took the screenshot of the Facebook ad. But it's to tie into last week. A famous band, one of the most famous rock bands right now, as far as being played on the radio and shit, and kind of what the Lizards are pushing on everybody. Shitty music is what I'm saying.
I don't like it.
They have an American flag. It's got the stripes, but instead of the stars, it's got the fucking Thelema logo. Look at this. Look.
Look at this right here. Look at this. Look. Let me see.
Look at that dog shit. See, Hollywood and the music industry, all these pharmaceuticals, all this shit. They're all in on the same
Lizards,
thing.
bro, all in on it.
They're all in on the same thing.
The irony of it is that they're all really, really, really stupid, and a lot of this works with stupidity.
Well, given all the information and power that they have, and they still fuck up.
Don't get me started on it.
I can't find it, but go in on it.
But it's when they have complete understanding of how the majority of all of reality works. You can manipulate it pretty easily.
Anyways,
And so
you
that's
watch
what's
Ready
happening
Player
now.
One, you'll see it.
It happens all the time. Every time that you see I'll take America just because it's a really fun example because we're all dumb. We all start getting together on something important and like actually coming together and unifying all this stuff, and then they just like dangle some stupid little
Save
fake
the children.
save the children, some stupid thing in front of us, and we all just flock over it and then argue over it instead of just continuing to work with each other. And it's manipulation. It's
Tribalism.
just sleight of hand every single time.
Yeah, I think trends are a big thing, but trends
I mean-
end up falling off.
And we have influencers. Why is it that somebody on, Instagram or wherever, I don't pay attention to this crap, but they make a ridiculous amount of money to basically put on a fake persona and be an influencer for items or trends or politics or whatever they want. And I'm like, and people listen to them. Like, they're
And they're-
being paid to say this. Why are you
But isn't
listening?
that what a lobbyist is?
Yeah.
So we're okay with that, and we're okay with that, I guess.
We're done.
That's gross.
I don't think anybody's okay with it. I think
No.
they just turn the other way
We don't
or act
think
like
that we
it's
have
not
a
happening
choice.
because they tell us it's not happening.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess, but it's like, what do we do?
Most people are
we just
comfortable
let-
with their reality and they don't want
We
it to
let them
actually
with the quantum
change.
computing. We let them
Yeah.
have the. We're just
They have everything.
Right. Now, Geordie Rose also talks about in this same little seminar where he says it's like standing at the altar to an alien god. He also talks about them pulling resources from parallel realities. And it's, I think I will play devil's advocate here. This plays into our timelines thing. So the parallel realities comes in when you have just the 0 or just the 1. So in in this reality, current reality, we would have to choose a 1 or a 0, right?
yeah.
Well,
okay.
in a parallel reality, when you choose 1, the parallel reality chooses 0. So there you have a split. Just to try to explain this. But now, since quantum computers could do it at the same time, they're gaining access from both of these
You're
in air
overlapping the
quotes.
realities.
It's air quotes parallel realities and not parallel realities. You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
But now, that's logical if you understand computers. So I get where using the phrase pulling resources from parallel realities, but that's essentially not what they're going to use it for. That's just one side of the dice. When really
What's the other side?
they are going to metaphorically pull resources from parallel realities. Also, at the same time, they're going to pull resources from parallel realities because that's what they're going to eventually use the quantum computers to do, is to traverse space and time.
that's what they're eventually.
This is where spirit science comes in with their the Hebrews on Mars fucking making the Merkaba and traveling to Earth.
Lucifer experiment.
Exactly.
the what?
The Lucifer experiment. They created a synthetic Merkaba to travel through space to Earth, but they actually traveled through time and ended up back in the Atlantis time and fell into one of the nodes of the Tree of Life, 2 of the nodes. And
What
that's
the
when we
fuck?
got...
Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah.
any of that is, bro. Fucking,
Yo, who's the tree and what's the nodes,
What
my
the
guy?
fuck?
Let me know.
how do I smoke that shit?
Dude, that sounds fun. What are we doing here?
That tree sounds fire.
It's the theory of Atlantis. You know all of that.
Man, that's just, there's no way of fucking proving all that shit.
Well, no.
I mean, it's fun and, trying to talk about it, but
Prove reality exists.
you can't.
No.
So it's a conundrum. You just fucking see. I'm double speaking. I already told you. I owned it, so you can't talk shit on the internet about it.
I don't
Soundbite
pay attention
that.
to the internet enough.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was quantum physics, bro science, right there. Right?
Bro science.
science,
You
bro
know, that's a
science.
fucking good way of putting it.
I mean, it really is though. It's
So now, but do you get what I'm saying about they're gonna use it for parallel realities, and they're actually gonna access parallel realities.
they're doing this.
It's
now,
the micro and the macro. I believe so. It's the micro and the macro. It's the same thing.
because there is science that they are. That's what atoms do when they collide. They're creating new.
Well, they disappear sometimes.
They disappear sometimes.
I think that's something that they've been showing at the LHC is that where are they going?
No, where are they going? For real?
When
Like,
you
what do you mean?
when you collide them, it should make
An explosion.
an explosion, but sometimes there's no explosion. They just are gone.
That doesn't sound good. So other parallel realities could be doing that, and those particles or explosions could be slamming into us,
Maybe it's the explosion that
right? I mean,
took down Building 7.
Oh, it might be. It might be.
Oh,
Well,
fuck.
yeah, I mean,
did I
if
just
you-
create a new conspiracy theory?
I don't know, but
If you look
Hey,
at
you heard it for
our,
the first time here on P3, baby.
if you look at realities as the size of atoms or existing within an atom, then yeah, we could be smashing against each other all the time. It might not be at a massive velocity, but we're probably
are those
constantly
the
bumping
ripples
each
of
other.
time? Is that the gravity?
Well, the
you know,
ripples
the
in time.
waves of gravity. Is that what that is?
Us rubbing against other realities?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Don't both.
I don't
both of
know,
you
yeah.
Just pause and look at me like that.
Well,
What do you mean? Maybe.
If somebody
But now,
knows,
like,
please tell
parallel
us.
realities. Are you still like confused on the parallel realities thing?
No, I'm there with you,
Okay.
but at the same time, no, right? Are any of us? Because that just blows my mind.
All right. I think I had to take a piss break.
All right. Well, I guess we're doing that.
We will be right back.
All right, we're back. Justin had
Parallel
to
realities.
empty out his little 2-inch terror.
his little guy.
Hey, 3 inches is hell at 100 miles an hour.
Damn,
Damn,
girl.
bro. Fucking jackhammer over here.
Dirty as hell.
It's jackhammer.
Don't talk like that in front of my puppy. That's not
Fucking
cool.
like
Well,
rabbits.
we got something to look forward to
Is
because
he
in
no
a
warrior
parallel
princess?
reality, this conversation isn't happening. So,
Parallel reality.
That's gross too.
so the parallel every decision that anybody makes splits realities, but it's all kind of happening at the same time. It's a paradox, and paradoxes are a big thing when it comes to it's Schrodinger's cat is what I'm getting at. Is that quantum physics? This is where quantum physics comes in to the whole spirituality, the true spirituality kind of hermetic philosophies, is because it actually gives us a scientific basis to, like, for me, to my belief system, because Hermeticism is kind of my religion in a way. It's not a religion, but if just to conversating with people, that's just what I would tell them, because it's not. It's just more of an observation and an understanding of universal laws. And when you come down to parallel realities and being able to pull and harness these energies, like what Geordie Rose has built a machine to do, you can do that naturally. Just like we touched on last week, it's our natural way.
Natural laws.
Fun
Right.
understanding of it, we are quantum computers.
Exactly. Now, this is what I was going to get into earlier. This is what makes fucking. Oh my god! My
yeah.
2-inch
Is-
tear just
yeah,
got hard.
is getting jacked.
Oh god! Look at the veins,
The
vascularity.
veins.
Anyways, so
Shut the fuck up.
Jesus Christ.
now we're talking about us being quantum computers. Now, there's CAD CAM software out right now that we could buy. It's in the public domain. CAD CAM software is computer aided design and computer aided machining. So what it does is typically you would have to import a 3D rendering of something made on CAD software. And then you apply toolpaths to it, and then that's how you make it in a machine, is by cutting it out, right? Or 3D printing it. It's the same basic principle. But what they do now is they program in load points, and the software creates the shape of the part. Now, what's fucking weird about it, now this is the best computers are designing this part for you based on what it's going to be used for. Eliminates human error, human calculation, all this other shit, right? Well, the parts look biological.
What do you mean? They look biological.
They look
Like printing the organs and stuff?
they look like a biological thing, like a muscle. It looks like a muscle.
The muscle is creating whatever you're wanting it to create, type of thing.
No, so it would be made out of metal or 3D printed out of whatever material, right? But it looks biological. It doesn't look rigid and, radius corners. It looks
Living?
Go ahead and try to pull it up so you can see what I'm talking about. You guys understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I get what you're saying. That it's built how a muscle would be built.
Exactly. Based off of load points they just tell the computer.
What was it called?
What would be the best way to describe this? Biological CAM software. I don't even know what to fucking call it.
But go ahead, it looks
So now this is the thing is how it kind of ties into us, and it ties into we may be living in a quantum computer, but this is kind of what it would look like if we could see it. Which, I mean, we kind of are if we are. But now this is the thing is that there for a long time we thought better meant like cleaner and sharper and all this other shit, but we were always kind of the pinnacle as far as we're not even really the pinnacle. I shouldn't probably say that, but we're the representation of something greater because we have consciousness the way we do, and this little cute ass puppy doesn't. This little puppy don't even know what fucking we're even saying, much less quantum. We're talking about matter and observation on the smallest scale fathomable. This puppy don't know shit.
I don't know shit. I can't even find your biological CAM software. I need to go to the school at Jamie Vernon. 'Cause Jesus Christ, man. I don't know how you fucking Googles this shit. I'm trying.
Anyways, so this is what I was going to bring this into. In the 50s, there's a rocket scientist named David Adair.
Did they dare him to do something?
Yeah, to make fucking rockets for the United States government. So essentially what I'm getting at is that this guy was a child prodigy in building rockets. The government was funding him to build rockets when he was like 15 years old. They have the letters from Congressman, I think John Ashcroft or some shit, talking to him about his rockets, red rockets.
At 15 years old?
Yes.
Wild.
There's videos of him talking about this, and the crazy thing is that every single one of his videos and they're different places, obviously, but he's saying the same exact thing. There it is. All right, a article, but basically, David Adair built a fusion containment rocket engine. And he was a super high up engineer in NASA. He is legit as fuck, as legit as you can get. Everything, all his ducks are in a row. Nobody's talking about him though. So he's come out after however many years. He holds the record on Art Bell's Coast to Coast AM. His interview was like 10.5 hours long. And people were calling in this whole time, verifying the information they were giving him. Like people were calling in saying that they used to work at, I can't name it, but I worked in a similar place like that, and that sounds about right. So he built a fusion containment rocket engine, ends up meeting Arthur Rudolph, which is a super high, another Nazi. Now they talk about Werner von Braun, but this dude was the head of the government's Black Projects program. coming from David Adair, and he was a Nazi, a sick fuck apparently.
Why
But-
do you think all these Nazis were? that
Because
advanced?
I think that there's enough proof out there to say with confidence that they had extraterrestrial help in their
Yeah, they were trying
technological
to
advancement.
reverse engineer UFOs like
Yeah.
during World War II.
I mean, look at the bell. They never found it. They still have not found the Nazi bell.
What is the Nazi bell?
The Nazi bell was basically, it looked like a bell, but it was basically a flying machine that disappeared whenever we were taking Berlin, I think.
Oh, okay.
And that's where the Vril Society and shit comes in, because they were Hitler's behind closed doors confidants and advisors and shit like that. They were occultists. They were witches. I mean, you can look up the Vril Society right now and it'll show you. But anyways, so David Adair, after he splits a fucking hole in the atmosphere launching this goddamn fusion containment rocket engine at Area 51 or Salt Flats, Groom Lake, wherever it was. So they're like, okay, your shit's legit. They take him down into the underground bunkers underneath Area 51 or wherever the fuck this is at. And they show him another. He says it's a rocket, but it looks biological. It's a sentient thing that talked to him when he got in it. So essentially,
He actually, yeah, it was the one he built. It was bigger, right? Because
yes, this was much bigger than his rocket.
They said the rocket was unlike anything he had ever seen and appeared to be punctured.
The one down in the base.
Yeah, he
like they
said
shot
that he
it
was
down or
flown
something.
directly to Groom Lake Base, where he was met by black-suited government agents and shown to an underground facility where a rocket engine of similar nature was kept.
But it was biological, and when he got into it, because they weren't telling him anything.
No, he said he wondered why the Air Force was asking him to repair an engine they had designed, which was far superior to his own.
Yeah, they told him it was theirs, but
Yeah.
clearly it wasn't theirs. That's what I think he says in the video. It's like, obviously this isn't ours.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, if you're at that level of intelligence, making a ship that can basically function as a biological life form for space travel would be completely and totally ideal.
So now, we've known about biological super rockets that harness energies of the sun and uses it for a power source. Just like in Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock. You guys remember that shit?
Yeah.
Same thing, but they had already been making this since the 50s. Rockets that can use it for power. David Adair says that he was doing it as to test the output of the power for renewable energy, for an energy source. But the smallest, easiest way to test it was just in a rocket, because he always built rockets.
Yeah.
So he was literally child prodigy. Now what I'm getting at, he gets into it and he touches what he assumed to be the control pad, and it starts talking to him.
well, doesn't it actually like lock his hands in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I believe it. But
And
it, like,
but it's
not
communicating with him like telepathically. So what I'm getting at is that they're going to use, obviously this rocket was built by something vastly superior to us.
yeah, knowledge of.
And it looks like it was a biological thing. Right? Like it had a consciousness. It wasn't made of metal. It was made of some other alloy of something. But it's built to best handle what it's made for, and it looks like it was grown, like a human being would grow. Anyways, back to quantum computing. They are trying to use this because the CAD/CAM software that we could get was them just pushing a little bit out into the public. Okay, to give us the illusion of technological advancement, when really they've experienced technological advancement hundreds of years ahead
And
of
probably
us.
also to help with advances in production.
Right. And then
Yeah.
this gives the public sector something to work out smaller issues that
Yeah.
they don't have time to deal with also. So it's like beta testing and shit. They're outsourcing the work.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
Elon even
Free
talked
work.
about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Well, that's what we did whenever I was going to school in Houston. That's why I went to NASA, is because they outsourced some of their machining to the school, free labor,
Of course.
Yeah.
Of
and
course.
I got parts that are going to be in space. So that's cool for me. But they're like,
Should
we
put
don't
your
give a fuck
initials
about
on
that
it.
shit.
Should have put your initials on
I
it.
should have.
Uh-huh.
I should have. Anyways,
Dick and balls. Something.
they're going to use these quantum computers to try to drive manufacturing of consciousness. This is where the show Altered Carbon comes in. How are they going to make the bodies? You could grow a body, but it takes 30 years to grow a man's body. Wouldn't it be easier, like in Westworld, just to 3D print it?
I mean, that's what I always assumed. 3D print it, right?
But see, now they make you think that, oh, it's going to be your sleeve. We'll just be able to make you a new sleeve in like a month or a couple days. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's really not going to be for that. It's really going to be to eliminate us, our current lineage, and to try to progress us into transhumanist style. This is shit that Alex Jones talks about, transhumanism. But that's essentially the end goal. But if you could trap our consciousness, like putting a chip on our brain and like what Austin was talking about, it keeps us out of the karmic cycle. And this is how it directly affects the average person.
What is transhumanism?
The melding of human and robot technologies.
And what is the gain for that?
The gain is on a whole nother level than physical reality.
I guess for people, it would be you lose an arm, you're able to get one back, right? I
Right,
mean,
yeah.
But what is the benefit for the elite in
To keep us
creating-
in the karmic cycle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And money,
Okay.
You go ahead and explain this.
extortionism.
You go ahead and explain that next tier information, like because this is what we see on this plane, on this reality, and on this level.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Why are you always breaking shit? Dog?
Yeah.
I don't
What
know,
are you
dude.
doing?
This thing keeps loosening up.
All right. What exactly you wanting me to
Because you're
explain here?
supposed to
I got it.
loosen the
tight.
nut or
The
tighten the nut when
consciousness
you're
part
doing
of
that.
it?
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the consciousness, the higher dimensional shit, because this is really where they're focusing in on. This is their goal. This is the realm of the lizard's goal. Right? It's to harness our energy, in layman's terms, and to keep them in control. Therefore, the more people they can control, the more energy they can harness, and therefore
Oh
they
my
can
gosh.
manifest their own realities.
So they're engineering biological things to gather and create consciousness. Like,
Yes.
to- that's
Create bodies for consciousness.
But now, this is also the
bodies
kind of the divide.
consciousness.
Bodies for consciousness.
It's
For
just like what
Consciousness
they
can
theorize.
move. It's constantly moving. We just have a conscious piece of our higher self having this experience on this planet. Which, when the Anunnaki created this planet and all of us, they created it as a renewable or recyclable planet. Meaning, spiritually, you can come back here over and over and over again as many times as you want to. Or you can leave and go experience some other plane of existence or go back to
Experience life
the
as whatever
higher
you want.
self. What the elite have done and what they can do further with creating biological bodies for us to inhabit, they are controlling the cycle.
Natural law. This is
Instead
how
of
it ties
us
in.
having the opportunity to, die here and then leave this karmic cycle and go somewhere else, they are aiming to keep us here even if we don't want to be here. They are creating the karmic cycle for us to stop our growth as a conscious being.
And people would say that, hey, that's fucking weird. Why would they just want control for the sake of control? Well, look at the situation we're facing directly with our government. Actually, all governments, really.
Yeah.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely on all scales, in all timelines. It's a universal law. That's why positions of power should really be eliminated. And if you are going to have them, then you need to keep them. You got to keep a tight leash on them. That's all I'm saying.
So this is alien technology.
there is. This is where we get our technology from, because while we have places like S4 and Area 50, all these different bases that are doing all this crazy alien experimentation and technological whatever the fuck, they're not going to give us everything either. No matter what kind of deals we have worked out with them, they're not going to give us everything, because they want to keep us down.
Between us
Just
and the
like,
government, or
just
us
like
and
the hierarchy everywhere else, there's a hierarchy above the United States government, and it's obviously beings with vastly greater knowledge than us.
And they push for you to think that this is it.
But that's
That
the evil
when you
side
die
too.
here, you're going to go to heaven or you're going to go to hell. So why not try and prolong your life here?
It's a schism, bro.
By this body, we'll put you inside of it.
It's a schism, bro. It's the
base
polarity.
reality.
The issue, though, is when it comes to consciousness, they can't actually take or hold consciousness. I mean, we can't even fully quantify it at all at this point.
Ghostbusters.
We have
Yeah,
no understanding,
eventually,
really.
when they can, you can't hold someone's consciousness. But you
If you
can,
give it away to them for free,
they can create an illusion that you will choose to believe and basically give your consciousness over freely.
So basically, they're the foot soldiers for.
that's the gray aliens. That's what the lizards.
Yeah,
got,
well,
is
I
the
mean,
gray aliens are
just
biological.
like the alphabet boys are the foot soldiers for
Right.
the government. They're the foot soldiers for
Right.
the higher.
Now, this is where the gray aliens come in, is because they theorize that the gray aliens are biological cyborgs.
And this
But
is
now,
where
what were you saying? Because I had a point to what you were saying.
Like giving away your consciousness, which is just an illusion. You're not actually ever giving away your power or whatever you would like to call it from source or your god or whoever. You are simply accepting an illusion that you no longer have it. You
Right.
still have it, though.
And now this is where the one conspiracy, because everybody thinks about these conspiracy theories and shit being all like kind of separate, but it's really not. They're all just different facets of the one.
The one.
Is it the micro and the macro? This is how it works. This is actually how it works as they plan it to, because they already have the general recipe. All they got to do is mimic how nature works, and we will follow along with it. But going back to what Caleb was saying about, we have to be able to give it away. They can't take it, and this is what David Icke talks about when he talks about the Archons. He talks about the Archons not being able to create new shit. They just manipulate shit that's already been here. And this is why they hate us and why we're so special, is because we have that creative part to us. So therefore, since we can think of new shit, we will always be, no matter what they do, we're going to overcome it because we can think of new ways to get around it. But now, why they keep us in the karmic cycle is because we just keep coming back oblivious. Some of us remember past lives and stuff. I think that's already been kind of proven.
Yeah, they've done
Or
enough
resonance
studies
of-
on.
Oh yeah,
All kinds of things.
So the more of us that keep incarnating, the better off they are, because now they get to steal all of our shit and turn it into
over
theirs.
and over and over through traumatic experiences
Yep.
called life, the human experience.
So how are they creating these, like, or how do you think they're creating these biological, like, just like anything else? Or
Eventually-
Just like
the-
Westworld, bro.
yeah.
I think they're already doing it. And now this comes into the whole celebrity cloning conspiracies. Is that they're actually making, like in Westworld, it's Westworld. That's why Westworld's so good, because we all know it's fucking true.
I mean, that's the. I love
we know we could totally see this fucking happening.
But
Yeah.
what
I'd
do
fuck
you
a
mean?
robot,
Oh, I'd fuck a robot.
I'd fuck a robot.
I mean, I'd fuck
especially,
several robots.
oh dude, oh my god.
Are you a robot?
Do you want to get?
All you have to do is tell me you're a robot, and I'll fuck you.
I think we could buy one though.
Yep.
So to kind of bring this, to a listener perspective, I feel like that's kind of what I bring. You guys know way more about this shit than I do. When it comes to quantum physics, quantum mechanics, quantum fucking everything, what does that how does that impact us as human beings? What do you feel the end goal?
I mean, I just kind of explained the end goal. Me and
Yeah.
Caleb just kind of
You explained half of it.
it's half of it. I mean, it also could go.
Could there be good?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
but now in order for there to be good, we must
Do good.
acknowledge it.
Okay.
We at least have to admit, and all these other things like religion and politics, TV, and all this other shit that keeps us distracted. We're not even don't have the time. I mean, if you tell somebody to, oh, hey, if you check this shit out, or check out this book, or read this fucking particle physics essay that I can barely even understand because it's just a bunch of alphanumerical bullshit. They were, oh no, I ain't got time for that. But people just don't want to know.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it's the pendulum swinging back. So I'm not saying there's going to be vast change within the next couple of years, but
Decade.
a decade.
No, but I
two-
feel like with the advancement in technology and electronics, life has become better in a sense. But at the same time, there is bad, like addiction to your phones and, the impact it can have, like social media and stuff like that.
Well, look at what COVID
It's kind of a
did to
double-edged
us.
sword.
Quarantine. I mean, all the work is still getting done for the most part. I mean,
Yeah.
But now
Caleb
people
and I were
have
just
to
talking
deal with
about this.
themselves.
Caleb and I were just talking about this on the way over about getting new jobs and shit. And only the places nobody wants to work are the only places hiring.
Yeah.
Because they realize it's easier for me to just stay at home and get paid by the government than it is
Yeah.
to work here. I get
Yeah.
paid more sitting at home doing
Yeah,
nothing.
the entire
So
COVID thing on
it's to
a
keep us contained in a box. Keep you in the box. This is another metaphor for the cube and why Saturn.
Of dependency.
Well, that's
I mean, that's
different
sort of
face
what
to
they
the
want,
die.
right?
It's just a different face.
Yeah.
Because they, people are going to be less likely to bite the hand that feeds. That's the only reason why they want you dependent on them.
Yeah.
And that's why they use a phony system like money and shit. Or the system that we have is phony. I'm not saying that it couldn't work, because it could.
we created COVID. I don't mean that in like a lab or anything like that. I mean in a spiritual nature of the collectives. We created that experience.
But didn't
Because
it
guess
come out of the lab
what?
in
For a
Wuhan?
year, everybody had to sit in their houses and deal with themselves and
They're
deal
trapped.
with their own shit and their
That was
traumas.
a test run.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
but
gotta
depending
do it.
Total
on depending
test
on the
run.
person, it could have been a positive outcome. right?
Exactly. So while we
Or
have
they make you think it's a positive by giving you half truths.
Where
They
Regardless-
let you
suicide
fill
rates
in-
go up.
As
and
long as
everything
they
else.
say the half truth right and you fill in the right blanks the way they want you to, that's how they get you.
throw out the
By
definitions.
fucking with your definitions, we're gonna bring this back to the very beginning.
Throw-
You don't understand your own language.
Throw out the definitions of it, the idea of whether it was good or bad or who did what or why they did what or anything like that. Guess what? We had to live through it and experience it. What partook in all of that doesn't matter. You grew as a person one way or another.
Yeah.
You experienced whatever you needed to do. And so while we have things like the Greys and the Reptilians and all the douchebags on Facebook, we also have just as many species or beings or aliens or whatever you want to call them working for us and with us to try and help us progress to where we're going, which is the genetic age. When we talk about 3D printing bodies and things like that, of course, our skeptical minds are like, man, they're going to do some horrible stuff with this. On the flip
There
side,
can be
they
good.
could do some absolutely incredible stuff with that.
It just
Our
has to get into
perspective
the right hands.
of it as a collective is what will shape that future.
like that's what we hope, right? Or
We do
is
good
that-
stuff with it, yes.
But and like Caleb was saying, you made a good point. This whole show, other than like just talking about the quantum shit, has been us kind of like highlighting the bad to it. But Caleb is right. I mean, we do have good forces working for us, both internally and externally.
Yeah.
So the problem is that the external forces play by the rules. That's the issue. This is the Batman issue. He doesn't kill anybody, even people who actually deserve it.
You do
So therefore
what you
they
need
escape
to
and
do
they keep doing bad shit.
for the experience. That's
It's the law of nature.
But now certain things have to happen before the good guys intervene on our behalf.
They
Whether
won't
it be
ever.
aliens, whether it be interdimensional beings, we don't fucking know.
I wouldn't say that they're not intervening because they are in very small ways. But until we as a planet kind of get our shit together, aliens
not
are
gonna be
never going to
open.
show up. I mean,
that's what I was talking about. Is
Yeah.
like, it's not going to be like your average person isn't going to be saying this shit until certain things are lining up. Now, do they help in small ways by affecting small groups of people? Caleb and I
I've done some
can
shit and
attest.
some things.
Caleb and I can attest to this shit because our lives would be dramatically different if we hadn't had some of the experiences that we've had together.
I might have went to college.
Fuck. Didn't you like?
I did go to
computer
college,
shit?
and then the school got shut down. Yeah.
Oh fuck. Was it a Trump school?
No, it was a for-profit school or something. ITT Tech.
Oh.
How many T's is in there? I don't know.
2 T's. That's all you need, baby.
Not enough.
That's all you need, baby.
Well, guys,
So I mean, the whole point is that technology is so far advanced, even to what is available to the public. But then if you base that opinion or that view off of everything else, what else aren't they showing us? Because if this is what they're giving us, you know they've got a whole... If they give you $1, they got $1 billion in the back.
Well, if you look at what they're giving us, I mean, everybody has the exact same mindset on it, just because it's presented in the exact same way to all of us. So you never look past what you're told.
In movies and shit, like with
Yeah.
Altered Carbon, if they give it to you as entertainment, you're going to be more open to it when it actually comes out.
Yeah.
So therefore, what we're saying is that they're going to keep you incarnating and
Using
harnessing-
quantum computing.
using quantum computers. They're fucking with natural law by keeping you here over and over again, which is really all at the same time.
Yeah.
So
in our opinion,
There was
In
only
our
one
opinion-
moment.
we
Let's see how it goes.
yeah, we will see how it goes.
enjoy the ride.
But now
Yeah.
nobody talks about quantum computers. So
Go ask somebody about quantum computers.
yeah,
Another snooze fest.
another snooze fest. It was kind of hard to get going because it's so... These topics are so vast. It makes it hard to just like sum it up, because if you sum it up,
You don't
it
get
doesn't
all of it.
properly explain what we're talking about. So
But just like you say, it all correlates. At some point in some episode, you'll hear it again.
right,
you
it
know?
may be episode 640.
Yeah.
But eventually this shit is going to all connect and all the dots are going to be drawn out and we're going to go down this rabbit hole together. So
It takes a while, but I promise it'll make sense.
it will make sense. You just got to
At one point,
Synchrony.
fix your definitions, bro.
No, I think that was a good way to sum it up for everybody. I mean, I think that was a good way. So,
Yeah, that was
dude, one thing I do want to talk on, since we kind of put the quantum computing, we're done with that.
Yeah.
I want to
down,
thank
Dr.
Caleb for
Disrespect.
coming in,
anytime.
subbing in for Austin. Austin, I
Shout
hope you get your
Bob.
fridge fixed.
Yeah, you bitch.
shout out to Austin. Yeah.
And we might have to get a 6th mic. I don't know. We
Hey,
will.
That
I
is our
have
6
to.
mic.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, Club's already
Might have to
on
get
it.
a 6th input for this recorder.
Oh, yeah.
But no, man, one thing I do want to talk about, you know, with the show, I know we touched a little bit on it last week, but you know, we all want you to, you know, when you're listening in, give us feedback, reviews, rating, ideas, you know, PM us on our social media site, all that.
Comment. Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah,
We
let us
wanna-
know. Give us topics you guys want to talk about or anything, you know.
We are
that-
monkeys
Correct
too.
us.
Yeah.
Correct
Please
us.
correct me.
Because what our ultimate goal for this show is not for us to drive it, it's for the listeners. You know, we're going to help, you know, and give our opinions and inputs and our topics that we want to talk about. But as the listeners, you guys are going to make this show. You guys are going to make, you know, turn this show into what it'll be in the future, what it could progress to be.
Eventually, we're going to have call-ins too, because
Yeah.
really, what we want this show to be about is about having the dopest, most interesting conversations
Yeah.
that you don't hear.
Yeah.
That's what we want to present to you guys. Is that
Yeah, and we're
there's
not,
all kinds of shit going on in the world. It's just nobody's talking about it.
yeah, and whether or
real.
not it's our opinions and what we believe, we feel like it should be heard just as. I mean, shit, you guys watch some of the stuff on TV. I mean, couldn't be any worse.
Oh yeah,
You
come
know
on,
what I
let's be
mean?
honest.
Lizards.
Yeah.
I mean, all we're trying to do is just connect with the people, connect with the community. You know, I mean, just 4 guys. You know, and we feel like being in the Midwest. You know, I feel like sometimes everybody only takes into consideration what Hollywood tells them. You know,
Yep.
and I feel like with this show, we can actually give to people opinions, like real conversation,
realistic
real
perspective.
conversation. We're going to fuck up. We're going to say some crazy outlandish shit. But in the end, this is a real conversation. There's nothing scripted. This is how people talk.
And we
you know?
want ideas. We
Yeah.
want those ideas.
Yes.
Present those ideas to us.
Like all because the general area of the conversation of the show, you know, we are going to expand on it. We're not going to just talk about conspiracies, even though we are kind of conspiracy minded. I'm not going to lie.
You
But-
are.
Yeah.
I am for sure. But
I love it.
we're going to try and get into some true crime. We're going to talk about all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
But for right now, man, we're just trying to fucking
Spread the love,
Getting
baby.
the feet wet.
You know?
just get y'all's feet wet. So when we start saying crazy shit you've never heard of, maybe you guys will be ones that understand it with us instead of,
Yeah.
you know,
We
not
might-
knowing
we
what
might-
we're talking about.
We might
You'll
be
be
giving
like,
you
okay,
motherfuckers relationship advice here at some point.
dude,
Who
I
knows?
give the best relationship advice. I don't follow any of it.
Leave her, bruh. Leave her.
I don't follow any of it.
Bail.
Don't do
Yeah,
it.
don't do it, dog.
He is the worst. Don't listen to him.
No, don't. Yeah.
He is the
Man, this is
worst.
Great. I get all my relationship advice from
How many
Patrice
baby mamas
O'Neal.
do you have?
I had too many.
Okay, see, yeah, no, don't listen to him.
Hey, it's our opinions.
Anyways, yeah, I get all my relationship advice from Patrice O'Neal. So if that isn't telling you anything,
R.I.P.
All right.
yeah, rest in peace. For real. But
All right. Well,
all right, guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Once
Appreciate
again,
you
good,
guys
my guy.
listening.
Once
Thanks,
again,
Caleb,
this is,
again.
Well,
Yeah.
Claude, yeah.
This is our guest, Klob.
Yeah.
This is Justin.
Yeah, young Guadalupe. What's
David.
good?
Gabriel.
Caleb.
Let's do it.
All right, yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for
P3.
listening.
We're out.
P3, y'all. Love you.